Yeah.
Okay.
All right, you were live.
Good. Okay, well, good morning, everybody. It is September 23, and we are having a really international call. Dan Burke and Mike Cook and several team leaders. I'm not sure where Scott is, but they're all in Jamaica, and the rest of us all over the place in the United States. So the slaughterhouse of failure is not in my destiny, in our destiny. We shall persevere until we succeed. Augmandino, got to get that straight. So today we're gonna chat about the difference between passion and or having passion for something and doing something with passion. So we've got a couple of things from Mark Cuban, from Richard Branson, and so on. So we're going to talk about and what it means and how we should apply our own emotion to what we're doing. Dan?
Yeah, so one of the things in these notes that you sent me was that Mark Cuban says that following your passion can actually be disastrous, because we really need to focus on something first, and without that focus, it's difficult to have that same passion for something. So we need to have the focus first, and coming out of that focus, it doesn't matter how passionate we are about something. If we don't have that focus, it's going to be difficult to be passionate about it. So, generally we focus on those things that are of interest to us, focus on those things that we're excited about, but we need to also focus on those things that we just want to focus on first and foremost, right? There's always things in your day that you want to spend time on. There's things that you don't want to spend time on, but ultimately the things that you're passionate about are the things that you need to focus on, right? And so without that focus, it's very difficult to have passion for something. And so when starting a business, you need to have that focus first, and then that focus is going to drive your passion.
Well, he's also saying if you're good at something, you will love it and you'll be passionate about it. But the important thing is to determine, and this is again, what's important for us is to do if you want to do this business and you really want to do it, you can become good at it, and then you will have passion for it, because not everybody is born with a passion to do something specific that he's doing or she's doing. Branson says, look for something that you love to do and you'll have passion to do it. Well, that is the other way to do it, because if you have passion for something, like, for example, I'm very, very passionate about what I do. I love what I do. And it's been years and years and years of finding this particular business that I'm passionate about, which is just turned out to be exactly what I've always wanted to have, but it wasn't always available. So we've got to find what we want so that we can be passionate about it. Because if you can be passionate about horse racing, and you're going to focus on that, and you get distracted. So rather find something that you could become good at, and the passion will come from that as we become good at it. So otherwise, if you work at something that you don't have passion for, it becomes a burden, and you look forward to Fridays instead of Mondays. So things that become heavy for us are things we have to do, whereas we want to do them, we like to do them. And this is the the little difference between doing something with passion and having passion for something.
Yeah, and the other thing is effort, right? So if you can be passionate about something, you can focus on something to create that passion. You can be passionate about something, but if you don't put the effort into what you're passionate about or what you're focusing on, you're really not going to see any success. You're not going to see any improvement. So following your effort place a little bit more structure around those things that are going to improve that effort, improve that focus, thus improving that passion. So, learning, growing, personal improvement. We talk about that personal growth, all of these different things. One of the things that I never really put a lot of effort into was reading. I would read sporadically. I would get on a reading binge and I'd read for, a month, 2 months, like voraciously, read a book every couple of days. And then after a couple of months, I kind of would get bored with it and I just would stop. And then I wouldn't read for a year or two, not like I was. I would read occasionally, but not like I was. But once I, lately I've set that goal and I've set that focus on reading more. And so one of the things that's helped me do that is iBooks. So in iBooks, you can actually set, just like you set a steps goal, you can set a reading goal. And it'll tell you, you can set it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever you want a day. And it'll tell you when you've achieved that goal. And then you can set how many books you want to read that year. And so I've set a goal of reading 25 books this year and 20 to 30 minutes a day of reading every single day. And so I'm putting my focus into improvement and into learning and into growing. And because of that focus or that effort, I'm focusing on this particular task of improving myself and learning more and growing more. And I'm actually finding myself being passionate about reading again.
That's exactly it. You're finding yourself being passionate by reading again. So you kind of lost that mojo of reading, if you like, but now you're getting passionate about reading, and this is something that you hadn't done for years. So, Mark Cuban says something here that I think is really good too. Nobody quits anything they're good at because it's fun to be good. And the effort is what we've got to follow, like you've just said, and that's what Cuban's saying. Follow your effort. And by following your effort and you become good at something and you like to be good at something, the passion comes from that. Achievement feels good. Feeling good motivates you to put in more effort, leading to more achievement, more motivation, more effort. The result is a never-ending virtuous cycle. I like that. That came straight from Mark Cuban's blog. The process of improving, learning, and growing. This is what we're doing every Friday. We're and Monday and Wednesday. We're trying to improve, learn, and grow. But the big key to this whole thing is we've got to put it into action, because it's one thing to have all the theory and to know all the theoretical stuff, but unless we actually do it, unless we actually put it into action and make not only ourselves, we've got to inspire the whole team to get into action. This is what it's really all about, because we look at the people on these calls, and ideally we need to have everybody have part of their team coming on. And these calls on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday should be calls with hundreds and hundreds of people, because they should be inspiring and motivational to actually take action, to feel that we're giving some kind of light into how and what we should be doing.
Yeah, and really effort, focus, and passion should really be symbiotic, or you want them to be symbiotic, right? You want them to all be part of that process. In my former career, I would read a lot, but I was reading surgical techniques, or I was reading journal articles, and I wasn't passionate about that. I was passionate about my career. I was passionate about orthopedics. I was passionate about helping patients and helping my physicians, helping my customers, because customer always comes first. But I wasn't passionate about it. The passion actually came from, I wasn't passionate about the reading or what I was reading. The passion came from helping other people. But what I found, now that I'm reading more about personal growth, and prior to, getting involved with this business or being involved with this business, I wasn't really passionate about personal growth. I didn't really see an opportunity in my previous career, so I didn't focus on that. right? And I didn't put the effort towards personal growth because I didn't see the opportunity to continue to move up, or where I had the opportunity to move up, I really didn't want to get into management or be a regional manager or anything like that, just because of the lifestyle. But when I became involved in this business, I saw that, you know, a large part of this business and a large part of being an entrepreneur is personal growth, right? And so I've refocused, I've invigorated my effort towards personal growth, which is going to help me be successful in this business. And so, you know, every single one of us in this business, we're all entrepreneurs, we're all leaders. We need to follow that path of effort, focus, and then becoming passionate about it through our effort and our focus. And so I've reinvigorated or invigorated myself to be passionate about personal growth. And that's a lot of what I spend my time on right now. And I've seen the fruits of that by, you know, I'm on a success trip right now in Jamaica. And so it's, if you put the effort towards the right things, if you're focusing on the right things, and if you're passionate about it, these things are all kind of symbiotic, then you're going to be able to reach your goals through being focused and passionate about what we're doing here.
And personal growth actually teaches us so many things. For example, failure. We can look at it as failure or as a learning process. You know, Steve Jobs was talking about make mistakes, make lots of mistakes, because the philosophy is emotionally intelligent, because it allows you to shift your mindset. In other words, if our mindset is, if our personal growth is really growing and our mindset is expanding, we then are able to learn to face the challenges in a much more productive way than just to say, oh my gosh, I failed. Can't do anything. I can't do this. So we've got to be inspired. And we're quoting some people that, you know, as they say, success leaves clues. Steve Jobs was saying, you know, make lots of mistakes. We always say, fail your way to the top. But if you're failing your way to the top, you've got to have that positive attitude, even though you've had a hiccup. You've got to have the strength to get up and get in there again and learn from that. And this is what personal growth is about putting into action some of the stuff we learn. You know, Richard Branson's talking about, don't start a business, look for a problem to solve and build a business to turn the problem into an opportunity. Well, we've got lots of opportunities to improve on what we're doing, to become really, really good at what we're doing, which will give us the passion of what we're doing, because we're like Dan's thing is to help other people. It happens to be mine too. I love to help people. And by helping people and being successful at doing that, that is where our passion grows. But that passion is transmitted to like-minded people in our teams. We've got to be inspirational and motivational for the people in our team, so that the duplication, success without succession is not the answer. We can be successful, but we've got to have the succession that this is all about. And it's about being successful and helping other people be successful and helping other people overcome their mental cobwebs and to be passionate about what they're doing and what we're doing. And we can do that if we're ourselves in a way to transmit that.
You know, you talked about, you know, helping other people. You know, these are some of those things that we talked about the last couple of weeks when we were talking about cold calling and solving a problem, not necessarily selling to somebody, but solving a problem that they may have and coming up with a solution, offering a solution. You know, so that's great, great information. But, you know, when you put in the effort, when you put in the focus, and then you become passionate about it, or maybe the passion's there already, you become good at something. And nobody quits anything that they're good at, because it's fun to be good. And when you're good at something, and you master it, or you get better at it, and you start to see achievement, you start to see that succession that Lawrence is talking about. And why? Because achievement feels good. And then feeling good motivates you to put in more effort, which then leads to more achievement, more motivation, and then more effort. It's a never-ending cycle, right? Of that achievement, feeling good, motivation, effort, achievement, motivation, more effort, and that's going to lead to passion, right? Just by being successful, by seeing that achievement, it's going to drive you more and drive you further to reach your goals, be successful, and see more achievement, right? So we should all be kind of focusing on, sometimes we focus on the wrong things. We need to learn or create those habits to focus on the right things. And those right things may be different for each and every one of us, but ultimately we should be focusing on trying to be good at what we're putting our effort towards, good at what we're focusing on, good at what we're passionate about, because ultimately that's going to lead to achievement. That's going to get us into that virtuous cycle, that never-ending cycle of achievement, feeling good, motivation, effort.
Yeah, the important thing in all of this is how we feel about ourselves and how we can transmit that passion and that guidance and that to our team members, because it's about duplication. Excuse me. So the whole point of mindset and what we're doing is to eventually love what we do. For those people that love this work, it's not work, it's love this pastime. If for those of us who love it, we've got to be able to inspire other people, our team, to do the same. To be able to, we've got all the tools are all there. We've got incredible tools, we've got an incredible company, and we've just got to be able to, first of all, ourselves be sure that this is exactly what we do, what that we want to do. When we do that, and that's why, and one of the things is, people that are successful don't quit when they're having fun and when they're successful. Why do people quit? Because they're not successful. They're not having fun. They look at it as a chore. They look at it as a pain. I look at this as a game, as fun, as a pastime. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is we've got to duplicate. And the way we can do that is by being successful and helping other people do the same.
Yeah, we can duplicate just by helping people achieve.
Yes.
Right? Because when they achieve something and they realize that they're good at it, or have that inkling that they could be good at it, then they're not going to quit because it's fun, because they've become good at it. But where people drop off in anything, like Lawrence said, is when they're not good at something, when they're not seeing success, when they're not seeing growth. And Martin put in a great comment in here: growth through learning. Without the growth, boredom sets in, right? So we can help people achieve, even if we're not helping them achieve in this business, if we're helping them achieve personal growth, and they're feeling better about themselves and their opportunity to grow and their opportunity to achieve, then we're going to negate any boredom that could potentially be setting in, or we're going to stop that boredom from setting in the first place, right? And then we start that cycle of achievement. It feels good, and then that motivates you. You want those endorphins that you feel when you have success, when you have that achievement, right? So you're always chasing those endorphins. For me, it's always chasing that next scanner, because not necessarily just the scanner, but helping that scanner be successful into a practice, because that feels good, right? That gets those endorphins going. And then just, we want to continue to have that feeling. And, that's that feeling I get from sales in general, is helping people, helping them be successful, helping them succeed, helping them achieve, because then it starts that cycle for them, right? That cycle of achievement, that cycle of feeling good, motivation, all of those different things. So maybe we're focusing on the wrong thing. Maybe we shouldn't be focusing so much on helping people place scanners. I mean, obviously that's an important part, but maybe our focus should be on helping them achieve whatever that means for them, You know,
Recognition.
yeah, recognition, creating recognition.
That's what people want, is recognition, to feel good in front of other people. So take what you said and just add recognition in the context and start recognizing people for the smaller steps when they get started. Let them know when they make a three-way call, when they do that. I don't think we go back to that mindset of the new person, begin recognizing people. You know, people die for recognition. You know, they say, you know, kids cry for it, and, you know, older people die for it. And so learning to recognize people for the little steps of progress will make them want to do something. Remember, we're still little kids. I mean, just with bigger price tags. And, you know, when people can come along and say, man, you did a great job, and you can recognize them in front of people, they're going to go want to do that activity again, looking for that recognition. So you can create little, y'all are on the Jamaica chip. You're being recognized by the company. I mean, that's massive recognition. That's the feeling what you're getting. It's this sense of accomplishment, being around accomplishment. But if we can tone it down to that, like 2 exposures a day at the end of the week, find a way to track that on the site to where you could recognize people. Wow, you did the activity. And I think learning to recognize people for these little bitty things, which leads you to Jamaica. So just everything you said is amazing. Just and what you're looking at, I think, is just recognition. And I mean,
Yeah,
y'all
and
doing an amazing job on the call. Like, I appreciate y'all putting this call together, like us recognizing y'all for the fact of what it takes to diligently, week after week. You're in Jamaica on your vacation time, putting it with us. I mean, that's amazing. So I want to recognize you for that and appreciate.
Thanks. No, I mean, one thing that I do with all the members of my team every single week, at some point during the week when I talk to them, is I tell them that I appreciate everything that they're doing. You know, I tell them they're doing a great job, keep up the good work, and I appreciate what they're doing. You know, it's not about recognizing me, it's about recognizing them. And you'll notice that that's what good leaders do. You know, good leaders recognize other people. They don't need to be recognized. And I've never taken that thought process in my mind that I need to be recognized for anything. You know, I like to recognize other people for their achievements. I'm not good. Number one, I'm just not good at accepting recognition. But you know, I'm better at recognizing other people. Is that a good trait or a bad trait? I don't know.
You know, there's a motivational speaker, speaks all around the world, and he's written a book, and it's basically, it's actually a couple of books, and one of them is on your team. Simple words: I believe in you, and thank you. So by believing in somebody, you're encouraging that person to say, oh my gosh, I can't let this guy down. He believes in me. And those simple words of this recognition, I'm recognizing that I believe in you. I'm recognizing some talent in you. Even if you failed, thank you for your effort. You've done a really good, your effort is recognized. We recognize your effort. The success or failure is not necessarily the end game. It's being in the race, it's being in the running, it's being in the war, it's being in the process. And your effort there is what we should recognize. The effort that you've made. And if you failed, what did we learn from that? How can we improve from that? You know, what can we really make it better next time? So, Dan, you're going to say something.
Yeah, no, I mean, we should recognize people just for coming into the business and being in the arena. Yes. You know, the man in the arena. Not everybody's willing to jump into the arena because they're not entrepreneurial, because they're scared, because they fear failure, because they fear whatever it is that they fear. Not everybody's willing to jump into the arena. We've all taken that plunge to jump into the arena, and we should recognize those who join us just for the simple fact that they're jumping into the arena.
And recognize the team members who've done their job at getting other people to join their team, because these are all these efforts that bring results. So
there is also another aspect to this, Dan, the behavior which you are showing to people in your group. Is that something you want duplicated by them? I would argue that it absolutely is.
Mm-hmm.
And as to the question of your being much better at giving recognition than accepting it, when somebody offers you recognition, they are trying to give something to you. If you cut that off, it can be argued that you are a taker because you're not accepting that gift that they're trying to give you. And I think a subject for another time is perhaps who is a giver and who is a taker. So when somebody offers you that recognition, that compliment, take it in full and just say, you know, I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Yeah, so I was going to comment on that too, Martin, because when you don't accept the recognition from somebody, it's like, I don't feel worthy of it. And I think that that's a mistake. I think we
And
should.
you are disrespecting that person's opinion of you, which is not good.
Right. I agree with you on that. So I was going to comment on that too. That
Sorry.
we got to feel worthy about it, about people recognizing you. And, you know, some people, if they're genuine, then it's from the heart, and it's really important that you feel worthy of that. And thank you. My effort is recognized, but it's you know, thank you. Anybody else
Thanks
got
for your
anything?
comments. Thanks for your
Just 1
comments,
o'clock.
guys.
It's 10 o'clock. Anybody else got anything? A minute or two past? No? Okay. Well,
Like Vince, I want to recognize both you and Lawrence, Dan, for putting on this call, for the subject matter, which you always bring, which is fresh and interesting. And sometimes it's a reminder, but these are all reminders that we all need. And I deeply appreciate what you do. So thank you for that.
well, thank you.
Thank you.
for being on. Mutual.
Yeah, you better accept it.
Mutual admiration
Or I'll be able to
society.
beat you up.
Thanks, guys.
Well, Dan, enjoy your vacation. Mike Cook, enjoy your vacation. Thanks to everybody for being on the call. Blessings to everybody, and a special thank you to Kate. Please mention it to her, because she was going to be in the pool. And so Dan,
She may have left. She may have gone to the pool.
she's gone. Okay, well, just mention it to her that we recognize her. Thank you for sharing you with us on your vacation.
Thank you. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great
Thank
weekend.
you very
everybody.
much.
Thanks, everybody.